wrong for telling my older sister, no wonder your husband left you. The sisters are fighting. I have many sisters and I know what it's like to fight with them. Luckily, we're all fine now. But when you're younger, all gloves come off. This story was first posted March 8th, 2025, so it's a new one. I am a 26 female and am very happily married with my husband, who is 30 male. My sister's 34 female is married to a man who cheated on her, took her gold jewelry, left her at 8 months pregnant, and left their 4-year-old. From the start of my and my sister's relationship, we've had problems. We have never been close. That sucks. I love my sisters. We always argued over the smallest of things, but ever since I have been married, it just got worse, in my opinion. To cut a long story short, my sister and I didn't speak for almost 2 years, and during these 2 years, I got engaged, married, and now live 3 hours away with my in-laws, away from my side of the family. I was told, not asked, that I needed to help my older sister with the baby and her 4-year-old for a week, whilst my father is away on holiday. I don't think anyone likes to be told and not asked. My father lives close to my older sister and helps her with her kids normally. I agreed since I have been out of work and my husband was also willing to accompany me, as he was able to take a few days off to help and work the rest of the days from home. We have had a nice week so far. Me and my husband would get up early in the morning to help with the kids and stay at my sister's house until around 6 p.m. each evening, which then we would leave to go back to my dad's house as the kids would go to bed. We have done countless favors for her during this past week, from my husband mowing her grass to picking up their 4-year-old from school, etc. Every single day this week, my older sister has mentioned, as she always does when I come to visit, about my weight. That's wild. She had also put on weight since I saw her last. I've seen her eating habits as she eats for 2 people. She's obese herself. When I leave to return to my in-laws, I always come away from my side of the family feeling absolute shite and upset about myself. I am no skinny girl, far from it. I've struggled with my weight for years. I hate the person I see when I look at myself in the mirror. But yesterday, my sister was aggressively pushing me for an answer and we ended up falling out. Why are we not like showering each other with love? I would hate if I made my sister feel poorly about her body. That would destroy me. I would never. We started off by watching a TV program in which I commented on how someone in the show had lost so much weight. She asked me why I didn't want to lose weight and why I'm so lazy and that I'm not doing anything about it. I wanted advice off my sister about kids, so I asked her subtle questions this past week and on previous occasions, for example, on how she tracked her cycle, etc. And I even told her that I had suffered a miscarriage 2 weeks ago, to which she just offered a few words, "I'm sorry to hear that." Oh, I'm sorry. But me and my sister are sitting watching TV and she just starts to talk to me about losing weight and looking good. She then insults me by calling me ugly, says I struggle to get off the sofa, and tells me that I'm lazy. I fall silent because my heart was beginning to race. I could feel a panic attack coming on, so rather antagonize, I stay silent. I don't like to talk back because I've been told by my dad not to say anything to her because we always argued, and that she's going through something right now and it was not a comfortable conversation to have with someone I'm not close with. So crazy that you're like living and staying at her house, basically helping her kids, taking care of her home, and you guys don't have a good relationship. Anyways, she continued to ask why I was being so selfish to my future children and selfish as to my future babies because they wouldn't be healthy. She then continued and asked why I'm angry, and I said to her calmly, "I don't think you know when I'm angry." Those are some fighting words. You about to find out. That's what I would say. She said, "I do because you go quiet." I told her I don't know what she wanted me to say. She said I'm lazy and I could have gone for walks while I was here, or I could have done something else. She said I don't do anything about my weight. I have made changes this year, big changes, which I know myself, and my husband supports me too. And to be honest, because I don't want to speak to my family about my problems, they don't ask me anyways, I don't feel comfortable speaking to them about things, so why would I share anything with them? I said to her, I've been making changes and that if we continue this conversation, we will argue. She then lied and said that our dad has asked her to speak to me about my weight. Throwing dad under the bus? Which is a lie because my dad knows that we argue over the smallest things. All this time I was scrolling through pictures on my phone and I put my phone down and stopped everything. I was just in pure shock. I said to her, I don't want to continue this conversation because I'm having a panic attack. She then chuckled and said, oh my God, here we go again. I walked out of the room and my husband was in a meeting in another room, but upstairs. I went to my husband and I told him that we are leaving. He immediately hugged me and saw that I was having a panic attack. My husband is trying to comfort me, hugging me to calm down. My sister comes to the room while I'm still having my panic attack and starts shouting at my husband. I'm her older sister. I can say what I want to her. Just pack your stuff and leave. All I can hear is my sister then starting on my husband saying, she's always done this. She's such a BSer. You can't be so soft with her. She needs to be told. By the way, my husband is softly spoken and gentle. He raised his voice slightly as she was going ballistic. All I remember is I needed to be sick, so I ran to the toilet and started being sick. My husband comes in after me and I'm violently shaking whilst vomiting. This ordeal, which included my husband, lasted hours in my head, but it was around 15 or 20 minutes or so. My husband tells me that we're leaving. I wait downstairs whilst my husband gets my bag from the room where she and her baby are. Informs her that we are leaving and that we are still here if she needs anything, but for now, it would be best that we leave. She then storms towards me and says, nope, that's it. We're finished. We're done. I told her I'm going to calm down. She said, nope, we're done. I got angry and she was literally shouting at my face and getting even more aggressive. I told her, you need to get off your high horse. No wonder he left you. The famous last words. As I was headed out the door, I regret saying this, as I don't agree with how her husband left and him walking out on the kids. I don't. We left and came back to my dad's house. She then sent a text to my husband informing us that, quote, her and the kids are dead to me, and to let her know any costs for patrol, etc., and she would pay it back. She also said to tell her to lose weight out of concern was an elder sister having nothing to do with anybody else, especially if she's talking to me about having kids. It always seems my sister will bring up this topic when my husband is not in the room. This has happened on more than one occasion. I'm just worried about what my dad's going to say when he comes back from his holiday, as he is closer with my older sister, so we'll definitely take her side. Not to mention, both my dad and older sister have the mentality that the elder person is always right. I'm on the edge. I'm on the edge. My husband and I don't like the words that I said at the end, but given the situation, I think some unpleasant words were going to be said. Am I the a-hole? Any advice would be awesome. Yeah, I don't think you should have said it, but I also don't think your sister should have said things. You know what I mean? You guys were reacting off each other, but let's see what happens. Update number 1, it came the same day, but 8 hours later. Some questions people were asking about, I'll write responses back to each. Number 1, the gold. I am of Indian heritage, and when girls get married, it is custom for the parents of the bride and groom to give the bride gold jewelry sets, which are worth thousands. These are gifts as a safety net for couples and an investment. Apologies, I understand not everyone understands this custom. So about the gold, my sister's husband had stolen all of the gold jewelry, including those gifts from my dad to my 4-year-old nephew from when he was born. What a POS. Indian heritage, like other heritage, also has the custom that the bride will live with her in-laws and husband. But some couples move out, which is something we don't have to do, as my in-laws' house will then become my husband's and my home. Number 2, getting therapy. I am definitely going to consider attending therapy sessions again. I have had therapy before. I do not have a relationship with my mom and 2 younger sisters because she mentally abused me and it ended in me leaving the family home. Quite similar to what happened between me and my sister. My mom and dad are also divorced, but I had an okay relationship with my dad, which I am deeply reconsidering. Oh no. 3, going no contact with my sister and dad. I spoke with my husband and we have agreed. If my dad takes her side and tries to flip it on me in any way, I'm definitely done with my side of the family. I'll have no one left on my side of the family. In regards to my sister, I only kept going back because of the kids. Those kids are so adorable, sweet, and innocent, especially the 4-year-old. He is very fond of his uncle, my husband, and myself. He has said several times this week, I love my uncle so much. It breaks my heart that we are going to have to separate and cut off contact. My sister uses her kids as a weapon, and to be honest, anyone who does that is the most vile person in this whole world. Kids are so innocent in all of this. I stayed silent because I love those kids to death, and out of respect for my dad, he told me not to say anything. My sister does not deserve to be a mother. Oh. The way she speaks to her 4-year-old, she always is shouting at him. The way she drives, it's very aggressive. But no one can say boo to her to tell her all of this. She is a narcissistic person. I've thought about this for 24 hours, and every time me and my sister argue, I have already made the decision to go no contact with her. That includes the kids too, unfortunately, which feels like I'm ripping my heart out of my chest. I'm going to move forward, go to therapy, and continue to work on myself. My revenge will be my happiness. I hope to God those kids don't hate me and my husband. I hope to God those kids have healthy and happy lives. I'll always love them and pray for them, no matter what their opinion of me is. I'm beginning to unpack everything and weighing up everything. My sister would make subtle comments throughout the week trying to belittle me. For example, my husband said he doesn't want anyone else to drive it except himself. I respect this, and my sister said, you don't let her drive it. And my sister said, yeah, don't let her drive it. Another time, she took us to see my 4-year-old nephew's martial arts, and the parking spots were tight. She had to do a 5-point turn to park into the spot. She said to me, yeah, this is how the professionals do it. Bet you couldn't do that. Again, trying to belittle me in front of my husband. See, I don't know. I feel like if someone, I wouldn't care. I don't know. I don't know the dynamic. And obviously there's a lot of pain here in their relationship. But to me, it'd be like, okay, you win, you parked the car, whoopie-doo. That same day when we were on our way back home, my husband sat in the back seat of the car and the car moved. She said, bloody hell, my name, you moved the whole car. Bearing in mind, I sat in the car whilst she was saying this and she was putting my nephew in his car seat. I told her it was my husband. She fell silent, followed with, oh, haha, laughing it off. My husband then, for jokes, rocked the car again on purpose. I was sitting next to him and she had sat in the driver's seat at this point. An important thing I didn't mention, which may not be important to some, but as I was walking out of the door of my sister's house, she shouted at me, don't worry, your time will come too, implying my husband will leave me too. I laughed and told her, no, he won't. I have full faith in my husband and his family. They've supported me from day one. Even with my wedding, my family was not in attendance. My dad came because he had to. Other than that, no one else showed up for me. My husband's family paid for everything and have never made me feel bad about it. My dad is back from his holiday in 5 days. I don't know how dad's gonna take this. He's gonna be like, damn, what the hell did I miss? In fact, I'll know what he will say. He will say, you're both as bad as each other, just leave each other alone. Not bad advice, in all honesty. At this moment, you guys both take some very low blows at each other. Because you're trying to hurt the other person. You're trying to go low. You're trying to get them where it hurts. I used to do that with my sisters when we were younger. Not in adult life, but when we were younger, for sure. We said some stuff, because I knew. And that's what an argument is. Not that it's okay, by any means. They're hurtful. They're hurtful words. All right, we're hopping on hydration station before the next update. All right, cheers. The next update came 2 weeks later. I've spoken to my dad. He hasn't brought anything up. Neither have I. He's been normal. He was back from his holiday a week ago and we've spoken twice since then, but he seemed normal. I guess my sister has not told him anything, but then again, I'm not sure. Maybe he's just sick of the arguing and doesn't want to bring it up. So I'm going to see him tomorrow and I'm going to speak with him, but I wanted opinions about how to talk about what happened. Depending on how it goes tomorrow, I'll either have a supportive dad who I will maintain contact with and have a good relationship with, or I would be fully estranged from my side of the family, which is going to absolutely break me. I'll update soon. But why are we getting dad involved? It's peaceful. He might know, he might not know, but it's between you and your sister. Truly. He was on vacation. He ain't got nothing to do with what just happened. All right, final update. It did come the next day. Let's see how dad reacted. Uh-oh. So me and my husband spoke to my dad in person today. My husband started the conversation and said, "You have probably heard from my older sister what happened. Dad said she told him parts while he was out drinking whilst he was on holidays, but shut her down and told her he didn't want to speak about it while he was on a holiday. Fair. I told him everything that happened. Dad was shocked but listened calmly and let me speak. My dad is not one to flip out or get angry quickly. My dad didn't have a reaction to the words I said to my sister at the end about her husband leaving her, but did have a reaction to what my sister said in response, indicating my husband would leave me. He sighed and shook his head and said, I don't understand how sisters can say things like that to each other. But anyways, after I had finished, my husband started talking and told him how he felt and that it was really uncomfortable, and this is not how older siblings treat their younger siblings. Using himself as an example, my husband is the younger one, but lived with his 5 younger cousins in a house when they were growing up. Dad said that he's heard parts from my older sister, but he's shocked by what happened and said to me off the bat that my older sister is completely wrong. Dad said, there's a way to speak to people and she went about it in the completely wrong way. She's not mentally in a great place, but it doesn't excuse her behavior. She even starts on me sometimes, and it's a lot of the time. Every few days even. Then eventually she comes around and says that I'm right. She's getting help for her mental well-being at the moment. I shouldn't say this, but I see your mom in her. My mom was the exact same. So I myself have started not to say anything because the person who doesn't say anything can't regret anything. My main priority is those kids. I don't care about older sisters. You guys are grown adults. It's those kids who need everyone with them right now, but I don't know how many years I have left. So I want to make sure that those kids are loved and have everything they need. I've seen how she also speaks to her older child. It's not nice. I've been meaning to speak with her about this also. The older child is good with me because I don't raise my voice. You can't shout at kids all the time and expect them to behave. That's what OP's mother used to do. I said to my dad that I understand, but he needs to stop taking her abuse now because he dealt with it with my mom too. Does he really want to relive that again? My dad simply said, I'm in my own house. I come home to an empty house every day. I don't think about your mom anymore. I have a good relationship with both of you, and if you decide you don't want a relationship with her, I respect that decision. Sounds like you're both going through things. They keep saying older sister's going through things right now, but also you're going through things right now, you know? But I'm a little surprised about how my dad reacted to all this because he was chill and listening to everything we said. But dad has given us blessings to carry on and has supported us and ensured us that we were not wrong. So my husband and I left that conversation quite happy. I will of course be continuing my therapy. Thank you everyone for valuable advice and for this new shiny backbone you have all given to me. Hearts. What a whirlwind. If you guys have siblings, sisters, brothers, whatever, let me know your thoughts on this. Siblings all fight. They all have their issues at different times in life. That's a very common thing. Let's not pretend, okay? I want to hear your thoughts though, so I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.